What's going on, guys? So now I'm on the wet sanding process. We already shot the inner coat with Flake, and then we let it dry overnight. And then that morning I shot the clear. So the clear now is dry, and now I'm wet sanding it, getting it ready for either you can get it ready for shoot the next layer of paint or do patterns. And the reason why we sand it down and the reason why you shoot clear over the flake is so you can bury the flake. Because if not, you get a texture of all the little dimples of the flake. But now the flake, the clear over the flake, 3 coats, and then wet sand it flat and it's smooth, like very smooth. Very, very smooth. And even then, if you want to do patterns, now it has something to grip onto. So that makes it even more easier to do patterns. This one I was thinking about doing 1 coat. I might do a little bit of pattern work, some ghost patterns. Maybe, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna play with it a little bit and I'll go from there. But yeah, just wet sanding it right now. I already did most of the car, but I want to do a little bit on video. It's a little more weird since it's on camera, but now this part takes a while. Sometimes it's actually going pretty quick, but there's some people, if you don't have patience, it feels like it takes forever. But just put something on, man. Put some YouTube on, put a podcast, put some music on in the background, which I'm pretty sure most of y'all guys already do, but put something that you enjoy. That way kind of takes your mind off, this type of work. But at the end of the day, I love painting, so I love the whole process of it. And again, just like everything else, well, like these kind of paint jobs, you have to be patient. It's going to take a few days, just kind of paint job. Even if I was just doing one color, meaning no patterns, no nothing like that, it's still going to take a few days for stuff to dry and block out, wet sand, all that stuff, body work, all that stuff's included. It's going to take time. You can't just buy it and then just straight from the box and start painting away and then just paint over each coat. You can, but if you want a certain type of result, then you have to do the work. You can't just copy and paste the paint job, you gotta actually do the work. Even when I shot the clear coat, the primer, it took about 2-3 times because that's what the primer does too. It shows you the flaws after your body work. Don't get lazy there. Don't be like, I was gonna just see if I could bury it in paint, but it won't go away. Remember this? It feels like it's thick, or it appears to be thick, the paint, but it's actually pretty thin. It's very thin, so it'll show almost all your flaws, The good thing about this flake, it's a 0.04 flake, so it doesn't really, the texture is not as bad as if I would use 0.08. I've used 0.08 on cars, on model cars, and it's very thick. I don't use it no more. I might use it, maybe put a pinch of it just to get a little couple different size of flake, but I just use a 0.04 now. See, you still got a little more to go. We're trying to get all matte, no spots like that. That spot means that this clear is higher than this part here. So we gotta get everything flat. No, again, that's where patience, again, I keep going back. It's just patience, man. It's just like the tropical glitz, their little mascot, the skeleton. I call him Flash, He has to wait between coats. He had to be patient. Be careful with these lines right here, like the molding lines and all this little stuff like this right here. The paint doesn't actually attach to that as much as the bigger surface, so you'll burn through it. Try not to burn through it. Sometimes it happens. All you gotta do is just touch it up, but don't skip out on it. If you happen to burn it, well, it is what it is. Just fix it. Touch it up. Let it dry. And burning, sometimes burning through the paint, it does happen, man. So don't trip out. Yes, it's frustrating when it burns through, but it's part of it, man. If you go on YouTube, you'll see some of these cars that are made for show, right? Like lowrider car of the year type. And these paint jobs are taking them almost 2 months to paint. And during the pattern process, and they do the patterns, hours and hours of pattern work, and then they shoot the clear, and then they start wet sanding like I'm doing right now. It burns through the patterns, man. So imagine how that feels, but they already know. And if you can't, for some reason you can't fix it, right, or it's that bad, improvise. Make a pattern out of it, That'd be a white base coat or whatever you think of, man. Just improvise. Don't trash it. Don't throw in the green stuff. Don't put it back to plastic. Did too much work. Improvise, guys. One of my best paint jobs to this day was on my daughter's car. The one with all the colorful patterns on top. A lot of it, it was a lot of I messed up a few times, and I just improvised, and look how it came out. So see, guys, there you go. We got rid of all the low spots by sanding down some of the high spots on it. We might have a little small piece right there, but for the most part, it's ready to go. And I'm not putting much pressure on it, just baby pressure. Let the sandpaper do the work. Maybe some right here. And on the inside, maybe just barely give it a little touch. Remember, there's hardly any paint on there. Don't forget about these little grooves here. Sand those down. Those can be a little more aggressive. Try to get that flake out of there. That way it sits in there real nice. Your hood or your bumper. There you go, guys. It's flat. It's ready to go. Now, a lot of people trip out too. Like, man, what the heck, man? Wasn't the point of having it shiny? The shine will come back out once you shoot it with clear. It'll come out. Just putting water on it, it'll come back out. Right? So you can only imagine what the clear does. It'll bring it back out. Don't worry about that. And all this work is necessary if you want a nice finish. You don't want to do all that work, get to your final clear and all that, and then you're wondering why this thing's bumpy as heck, You gotta get it flat. A typical paint job will take me about 4 days for a regular paint job. If it's pattern work, man, you're talking about a whole week. Getting back into model cars, I never knew what a curbside was. I didn't even know there was a category for curbside. But I'm starting to enjoy curbside too, because curbside gives you an opportunity to test your skills and get better at your skills on the paint job and not worry about the undercarriage or the engine. The interior, you just keep it simple on the interior. But the main focus is on your paint job and the body work. So that's fun. Like my son too, he's learning how to do more patterns. He's gonna get, that kid's gonna get, it's gonna be a whole different level, guys.